Hi, Grade 4s. So today what we're going to be looking at is positive mental health. The last video that we did was just kind of an introduction to mental health. It was just a sort of brief overview about what mental health is and how it fits into just general physical health. Well, today what we're going to do is we're going to focus a little bit more on positive mental health, specifically how we listen and respond to our emotions. So our learning goal for today, what I'd like you to be able to do, is to demonstrate an understanding of how the choices that we make every day can have an impact, a positive impact, on our mental health. And in order to be successful, you need to be able to show me what the definition of positive mental health is. You should be able to describe what positive mental health looks and feels like, and hopefully by the end we'll be able to explain the importance of mental health. So the first thing that we need to understand just about mental health in general is how it's related to emotions. A lot of times it's our emotions that are, and we talked about this in the last video, it's our emotions that are kind of like the clues to our mental health. They're the things that tell us and tell other people what our state of mental well-being is. So the first thing that we need to understand is that everybody has emotions. Everybody has emotions, and emotions are normal. They're just your response to things that happen. They can be positive and they can be negative. Usually it's the positive ones that we enjoy, obviously, and the negative ones that we don't. The negative ones usually happen when there is something bad that happens to us or to the people around us. And I say negative, I use the word bad, not in the terms that they are bad to have. Negative emotions are actually really good to have. It's just they're not, they don't make us feel good. They make us feel not great. So when I talk about negative emotions, that's what I mean. I don't mean having them is bad. I mean having them is a good thing. It just makes us feel bad. So we have to understand that everybody has emotions. The other thing that we need to do is understand that it's how we respond to those emotions that's important. So what I mean by that is it's the fact that we have those emotions is fine. We can get angry, and it's totally normal to be angry. I'm sure you've been angry before, and that's fine. That's normal. There is nothing wrong with being angry. But it's how we deal with that anger that's what counts. So we can, if we get angry, we can turn into a raging green monster, like the Incredible Hulk, and just kind of go bananas and bonkers and harm everyone around us. Or we can take that anger, recognize that we're angry, and do something more positive about it. Respond to that anger positively. So for instance, if a friend is making you angry, you can communicate, look, what you just did, that makes me really angry. I gotta leave for a little bit, take a few minutes to myself just to calm myself down, and then we can talk about what happened. That's a more positive response to being angry. So it's a negative emotion, the anger, which is okay to have, but there's a positive way to deal with that. So that's what I want us to think about. That's what I'd like you to think about when we have those negative emotions. And the reason why it's important to respond to those negative emotions positively rather than negatively is because if we use negative reactions to negative emotions, then that damages the relationships around us. That makes us feel bad. That makes the anger or whatever the negative emotion take over. And that's not what we want to have happen. Again, let's use anger as an example. If a friend of yours makes you angry and you respond negatively, you decide, okay, I'm going to hit this person. Well, that's not good for your relationship, obviously. It's also not good for your positive mental health, because that tells you, if you keep responding that way, your brain gets the message, oh, it's actually okay to go around and hit people. And that's going to have an impact on your mental health. It's also going to have an impact on your physical health because somebody's going to hit you back, and that's not going to be very pleasant. Whereas if you respond positively to negative emotions, that will allow you to have better relationships with people. People will be able to see that you are able to control your emotions. You're able to take those especially negative emotions and turn them into something positive. And when you're able to do that, that anger, that negative emotion, tends not to last very long. That negative emotion goes away a lot faster than if you have a negative response to it. So it's really important that we reflect on how we deal with our emotions. It's important to think about what it is that we do when we have those emotional responses to things, both positive and negative, because that's really important to developing positive mental health. So I've said it a bunch of times, positive mental health. But what does that mean? So when we boil it down to just one word, it means resilience. But what does that mean? So when you're talking about positive mental health, it means that you feel in control of your life. You're able to cope with life's challenges and stresses. You're able to function well mentally. So you're able to focus at school. You're able to focus on conversations. You're able to sit down and be able to read a book and not get distracted. You're feeling optimistic about things that happen. So even if something bad happens, it doesn't mean that you don't feel sad or bad about it. It just means that you're able to look at the good side of it, to be able to think about what could happen after that or how you could learn from it. Feeling physically healthy, going back to that idea of what health is. Feeling physically healthy is a good part of positive mental health as well. Getting enough sleep, that's a huge part of being positive, having positive mental health. The less sleep you have, the worse you feel and the worse off your brain is. We've talked about that before. And then there's a feeling of belonging when you have positive mental health as well. Whether it's your group of friends, whether it's your classmates at school, whether it's in your church, your neighborhood, all of that contributes to positive mental health. So when you put all of that together, having positive mental health means that you're able to respond to and handle problems and challenges a lot more easily.